Some families hurt you loudly. Others do it so casually, it almost feels normal. Growing up, my sister always acted like I was a burden. Everything about me annoyed her. The way I talked. The way I dressed. Even the way I existed around her. If guests came over, she wanted me out of sight. If family gatherings happened, she made jokes at my expense. And somehow, everyone laughed like it was harmless. But that night felt different. Relatives had come over for dinner. The house was full of noise, music, and conversations. I was helping quietly in the kitchen when my sister suddenly walked over, irritated. "Can you just stay upstairs for a while?" she snapped. I frowned. "Why?" She rolled her eyes dramatically before whispering. "Because I don't want you embarrassing me in front of everyone." That sentence hit harder than she probably realized. Before I could even respond, she pointed toward the narrow attic stairs near the hallway. "Go sit in the storage attic until dinner's over." At first, I thought she was joking. But she wasn't smiling. And nobody defended me. Not our relatives. Not our parents. So quietly, I climbed the old wooden stairs toward the attic. And honestly, I felt completely unwanted. But the moment I opened the attic door, everything changed. The attic smelled like dust and old memories. A single dim light flickered above me as I stepped inside carefully. Boxes were stacked everywhere. Old furniture covered in white sheets filled the corners. At first, it looked like nothing more than forgotten storage. Then I noticed something strange. Near the far wall, hidden under layers of dust, was a small wooden table. And on top of it, pictures. Dozens of them. I slowly walked closer. My heart started beating faster the moment I picked one up. It was a photo of me as a child. Smiling. Laughing. Happy. Another picture showed me holding a birthday cake. Another showed me sitting beside my grandmother. There were drawings too. School certificates. Handwritten notes. All carefully kept. I froze completely. Because downstairs, I always felt unwanted. But up here, someone had saved pieces of my entire life. And then I saw something that made my hands shake. A small box with my name written on it. I stared at the box for several seconds before opening it. Inside were letters. Dozens of them. Old birthday cards. Tiny notes. Folded papers yellowed with time. Some were written by my grandmother before she passed away. Others were written by my mother. That confused me most. Because my mother rarely spoke warmly to me anymore. But the words inside those letters felt completely different. "You've always had the kindest heart. I hope you never forget how special you are." My chest tightened reading them. I kept opening more letters, more memories, more forgotten pieces of love I didn't even know existed. Then suddenly, I found one final envelope at the bottom of the box. It looked newer than the others. And the handwriting on it belonged to my sister. My hands froze instantly. Slowly, I opened it. And the first sentence completely broke me. "I'm sorry for becoming the kind of person who makes you feel invisible." I sat down right there in the dusty attic floor and kept reading. Every line felt heavier than the last. My sister wrote about things I never knew she noticed. The times I stayed quiet after being insulted. The moments I smiled even when people ignored me. The loneliness she saw in me but pretended not to notice. Then came the part that hurt the most. "I think I became cruel to you because I was jealous." Jealous. Nothing about my life looked worth envying. But according to her letter, while she chased attention, popularity, and approval, I somehow stayed kind. And deep down, she hated herself for losing that part of herself. The attic wasn't just storage. It was where she secretly kept every memory connected to me. Every photo. Every drawing. Every forgotten piece of my life. Things nobody saves unless they care. Tears slowly filled my eyes. Because downstairs, she acted ashamed of me. But up here, she had quietly protected memories of me for years. Then I heard footsteps coming up the attic stairs. The attic door slowly opened behind me. My sister froze the moment she saw the open box in my hands. For a second, neither of us spoke. Then her face completely changed. Panic. "You weren't supposed to find that," she whispered. I looked around the attic quietly. "All of this was you." She slowly nodded. And for the first time in years, the confident, cold version of my sister disappeared completely. She looked vulnerable, human, broken. Tears filled her eyes as she finally admitted the truth. "I pushed you away because I hated myself, not you." That sentence hit harder than anything else that night. Because suddenly, years of cruelty started making painful sense. Some people hurt others not because they feel powerful, but because they feel empty inside. My sister sat down across from me in silence. And for the first time since childhood, we talked honestly. No fake smiles. No sarcasm. No pretending. Just truth. That attic changed my life forever. Not because of the letters. Not because of the photos. But because it revealed something I never expected. Sometimes love exists in broken people who don't know how to show it properly. For years, I believed my sister was ashamed of me. But the truth was far more complicated. She was ashamed of herself. Ashamed of the jealousy. Ashamed of the distance she created. Ashamed of becoming someone cold toward the person who loved her most. And honestly, that realization hurt and healed me at the same time. That night, we stayed in the attic talking for hours while the noise downstairs slowly faded away. For the first time in years, I didn't feel invisible anymore. And before we finally walked downstairs together, my sister quietly said something I'll never forget. "I kept all these memories because deep down, you were always the best part of this family." I cried after hearing that. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just quietly, like years of pain were finally leaving my chest. People think healing happens in beautiful moments. But sometimes healing begins in dusty old attics filled with forgotten memories. And sometimes, the person who hurt you the most is secretly the person who spent years wishing they knew how to love you better.